Abrams Boxing Show, powered by Last Out Media and brought to you by www.15rounds.com, the worldwide leader in boxing news. Also, Abrams Boxing PR Media and Broadcasting, the industry standard for boxing media relations and play-by-play broadcasting. Also, check out www.abramsboxing.com, Abrams Boxing on YouTube, as well as M. Abrams Boxing on Twitter and Marc Abrams Boxing on Instagram. Hello, boxing fans. Welcome to another edition of the Abrams Boxing Show. I'm Marc Abrams. Go over last week's big fights and preview this week's big fights. A lot of news going on in the world of boxing this week, and got three special guests. Caught up with David Stevens and Atif Oberlton after their fights last Friday night as part of the SHOBOX card. And also, Tony Jeter will preview his February the 18th card down in Maryland. Let's kick it off. Last Saturday in Manchester, England, former 154-pound world champion Liam Smith scored a fourth-round stoppage over Chris Eubank Jr. in a middleweight fight. That fight took place at the AO Arena in Manchester, England. Smith now 33-3-1 with his 20th knockout. Chris Eubank falls to 32-3 with 23 knockouts. So fight, tactical fight early as Smith, on my opinion, won the first round. I gave Eubank slightly edged at rounds 2 and 3, and then in round 4, big shot by Liam Smith hurts Chris Eubank. Eubank could not recover, gets dropped 2 times, and the fight is over. Great win for Liam Smith as he now will probably take another significant fight. I tweeted after the fight, Smith has had one of the most underrated careers of this era. You see his losses, the loss to Canelo, which he fought his ass off in that fight. He was just outgunned that night against Canelo. He had a very controversial loss in Russia for his second loss. And, like I said, he's a guy who's been there. And also Jaime Munguia beat him again. Another fight he hung in there, took a lot of punches. Liam Smith, he just beat Jesse Vargas. He just beat Chris Eubank Jr. Now with Eubank, he has a rematch clause, and he tweeted after it, said that he, he's going to run it back with Smith, or maybe do they revisit Conor Benn after Benn gets his legal situation all sorted out. Do the terms of contracts get changed because Eubank got stopped in such a manner? I don't know. So we'll see what remains to be seen. But a good win from Liam Smith to highlight a card promoted by Boxer, which, they had a couple nice fights on the other card. Richard Riakporhe, who is an emerging cruiserweight, went to 16-0 with 12 knockouts. He stopped the former WBO champion, Krzysztof Głowacki, in round 4 of their fight. Riakporhe, again, he hurt Głowacki. Głowacki probably doesn't take punches as well as he used to. And the 36-year-old Głowacki got stopped again, 32-4, 20 knockouts. Riakporhe is looking for a showdown with fellow Briton world champion Lawrence Okolie. Okolie looks like he's going to fight David Light later in the next couple months. We'll see if we see a Riakporhe-Okolie fight, coming soon, maybe in the summer. That's a big fight over in England. Also, former WBO heavyweight champion Joseph Parker went to 31-3. He scored a 10-round unanimous decision over Jack Massey. Massey now 20-2. Scores are 97-93, 97-92, and 96-93 for Parker, who gets back in the WinCom after suffering that 11th round stoppage to Joe Joyce late last year. Friday night, I happened to be on the scene in Bethlehem, PA, as super middleweight David Stevens scored a tremendous, almost last-second knockout, 258 of the 8th and final round over Sean Hemphill. That bout headlined a very entertaining SHOBOX, the New Generation event at the Wind Creek Event Center in Bethlehem, PA. Was a good effort. Scores were 68-65 for Stevens heading into the last round. And there were some people ringside, the unofficial, ringside media, thought that maybe Hemphill may have been ahead in the fight. It was a really good fight. Stevens, the fight was on the table in Stevens' in mind, and he came through with the flying colors. And after the fight, I was fortunate enough to get a couple minutes with David Stevens, and this is what he had to say. Here are David Stevens. Exciting 8th round stoppage over Sean Hemphill tonight here in Bethlehem. Take us through the fight. Tough fight in there.
Yeah, definitely a tough fight, but we got the job done, and we're right back in the lab, ready for whatever challenges come next.
Did you feel that your pressure was ultimately? In my story, I used the word wilt him. Did you feel that that was going to happen? You were going to wear him down?
I mean, yeah, ideally, I wanted it to be a lot sooner without rushing it. But like I said, we're just going to go right back to the drawing board and work on everything.
Take us through the eighth round. What did you see that led to the knockdown, and then the second knockdown, and ultimately the stoppage?
I gotta definitely go back and watch it, but I just remember landing a big punch or two and following up.
Just a fight. I know. I think when I talked to you before, and just a fight that's going to introduce you to the American public to throw your name in the hat, for the up and coming 168 pounders.
Yes, definitely. But like I said, I need a way better performance to really, uh, open those doors and let these guys know who I am.
What about your performance did you not like?
Just a little bit of everything. I feel like I could have did a lot of things better, but at the end of the day, we got we got in there and we got the stoppage. So, like I said, right back to the drawing board.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Hey, Dave, going in.
There you have it, David Stevens, your winner in the main event of SHOBOX, the new generation, this past Friday night. Like I said, very entertaining show from top to bottom. The co-feature saw light heavyweight Atif Oberlton go to 8-0. He won a hard-fought 8-round amateur decision where previously fellow undefeated Artem Brusov. Brusov now 12-1. Scores are 79-73 and 78-74 for the uber-talented Atif Oberlton. Good effort by Oberlton, good effort by Brusov. But Oberlton, like I said, he's a very talented fighter, big amateur career in Philadelphia, and he's going to be fast-tracked into some big fights later in the year. He's pretty close to being ready for stuff like that. And so I actually had a chance to talk to Atif after the fight, and this is how it went. Here are the Atif Oberlton. Great win tonight over Artem Brusov. 8 hard rounds in there tonight. Talk about the overview of your performance.
Oh, man, I'm just proud of myself. I went in there and I got 8 rounds in. We don't chase the knockout. If the knockout come. But I know I hurt my guy a few times, but I know he tough. But, I know the challenges I faced earlier in my career, and I embrace them.
It's one of those learning things. You were cut very early in the fight, I think in the first round. Is that a new experience for you to go 8 rounds with a cut?
Yes, it is, but I'm a warrior, man. I know this stuff comes with it. I'm not going to fold. I'm just going to stay focused and get the job done.
He kept on coming. He was a guy, you hit him with some good shots, and he kept on coming. What round did you say to yourself, you know what, okay, let's just box and be smart and, just win all these rounds? Did you take on that mindset after maybe 4th, 5th round?
I took on that mindset from round 1. I no longer chase knockouts. If the knockout comes. But I'm just going to box you and keep touching you and keep punching you.
Well, terrific SHOBOX debut. What do you want to say to the fans in closing?
Thanks for having me, SHOBOX. Most importantly, I want to thank God first. And to the rapper in New Orleans, Rod 49, he just had an incident. I wish him the best to get well.
And Atif We Trust, thank you. Got to get the Instagram on there. Atif We Trust, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. And Atif We Trust.
Congratulations. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.
There you have it, Atif Oberlton, the emerging light heavyweight from Philadelphia, along with Boots Ennis. Going to be one of the next great big fighters out of Philadelphia. Stephen Fulton already there with a couple world championships of his own. WBA number 12 ranked Jonathan Guidry scored a 10-round amateur decision over former WBC champion Bermain Stavern. That fight took place this past Saturday night in Miami. Was seen on some internet pay-per-views. Scores were 100-91 twice and 97-93 for Jonathan Guidry, who retains his WBA NABA Gold Championship. So we'll see what's next for Jonathan Guidry. Maybe he'll be parlayed into a decent opportunity. He fought Trevor Bryan a couple fights ago. So we'll see what happens with Jonathan Guidry. Fights this week, ProBox TV returns with the WBO's number 8 super lightweight. Cesar Francis, 12-0, takes on Jesus Saracho, 12-1, 11 knockouts. That fight will take place on Wednesday night, so you may be watching this Wednesday night. I believe it could be on their YouTube page, ProBox TV. 12-1, 11 knockouts for Saracho. That will take place in Plant City, Florida. Friday night, UFC Fight Pass presents world-ranked super welterweight Sergey Bohachuk, 21-1, 21 knockouts, the one loss to Brandon Adams. Takes on perennial contender Nathaniel Gallimore, 22-6 and 117 knockouts. That will take place at the Quiet Canyon inside the Montebello Country Club. That will be on UFC Fight Pass. Saturday, ESPN Plus brings the a fight that should produce a lot of fireworks. Where unified WBC, IBF, WBO light heavyweight champion world Artur Beterbiev, 18-0 with perfect 18 knockouts, takes on Anthony Yarde, 23-2 with 22 knockouts. So we got 41-2 with 40 knockouts. That will take place at the OVO Arena in London. That's going to be just an explosive night of boxing, an explosive afternoon on ESPN Plus this Saturday afternoon. I like Beterbiev. I think this is going to be fun while it lasts. I can't see this fight reaching the second half of the fight. I think both guys are going to get some damage done. I think Beterbiev just has a couple more bullets left at this stage, of his career. So Beterbiev, I'm it's going to be a little bit tougher than a lot of people think. So Artur Beterbiev and Anthony Yarde. The card also have another world title fight. The WBA flyweight champion Artem Delikhalian, 21-0, 15 knockouts, defends against David Jimenez, 12-0, 9 knockouts. So a couple undefeated fighters. So it's going to be a great card. I'm looking forward to it on Saturday afternoon. Then Saturday night on the Zone, WBO number 3 and IBF number 12 welterweight champion contender. Welterweight Alexis Rocha, guy we've had on the program many times, 21-1, 13 knockouts, takes on a late replacement George Ashi, 33-5-1, 25 knockouts from Accra, Ghana. That should be an interesting fight for Rocha. Rocha wins. Again, another big opportunity possibly awaits him. Ashi stepping in for Anthony Juice Young, who got injured late last week. That fight will take place live on the Zone, as we said, at the brand new YouTube Theater in Inglewood, California, right by SoFi Stadium, where so many great events have been so far in the brief existence. But Inglewood, you got the YouTube Theater, you got the Fabulous Forum there, you got the SoFi Stadium. So that's trying to compete with the Staples, not Staples, the Crypto.com Arena, which also has a lot of entertainment venues down that way. So in LA, city of entertainment, man. So a lot of news items this week. Showtime announced the February 25th triple header that will feature a terrific all-action brawl between Subriel Matias, 18-1, 18 knockouts, take on Jeremias Ponce, 30-0, 20 knockouts. That will be for the vacant IBF 140-pound world championship. The fight card, which takes place at the Armory in Minneapolis, Minnesota, will also pit local Minnesotan Jamal James, 27-2, 12 knockouts, taking on Argentine Olympian Alberto Palmetto, 18-1, 13 knockouts. And leading off the broadcast will be Elvis Rodriguez, 13-1-1, take on Joseph Adorno, 17-1-2, 14 knockouts. We'll try to get Adorno on in the next couple of weeks to preview that fight. WBO number 3 and WBC number 9 heavyweight Otto Wallin, 24-1, 14 knockouts, gets in a stay busy fight. He actually was, rumored to be fighting this past Friday night off TV on the SHOBOX, but he's going to take his talents to Windham, New Hampshire, where he'll take on Helaman O'Guin, 9-4-1, 4 knockouts. Like I said, just a stay busy fight for Otto Wallin. Let's see here. A very good super middleweight fight has been signed for March the 23rd in Montreal, Canada, as WBC number 2, WBA number 5, and WBO number 13, Christian and Billy, 23-0, 20 knockouts, takes on WBC number 10 and IBF number 13, Carlos Gongora, 21-1, 16 knockouts. Like I said, March 23rd in Montreal, streamed live on ESPN+. The February 11th Showtime broadcast, which obviously was previously announced as Ray Vargas taking on Oshaki Foster for the vacant WBC 130-pound championship, now has as a co-feature and a opening bout to go with it. The co-feature will pit local San Antonian, being that the fight is in San Antonio, Texas. Mario Barrios, 26-2, 17 knockouts, takes on Giovanni Santiago, 14-2-1 with 10 knockouts. And kicking off the broadcast, a couple of undefeated heavyweights. We like that. Lenier Perot, 8:05 knockouts, take on Victor Faust, 11:07 knockouts. So maybe a new heavyweight star will emerge from that fight. We've cut a couple of the exhibition bouts or celebrity bouts that are going to take place. Floyd Mayweather will be making his long-awaited English debut when he takes on Aaron Chalmers on February the 25th at the O2 Arena in London, and that will be an exhibition bout. Also, we'll get to the Roy Jones thing last. WBO #1 super welterweight Tim Tszyu, who was supposed to fight Jermell Charlo for the undisputed championship. Charlo gets hurt. Tszyu's going to fight for the interim WBO championship when he takes on Tony Harrison, 29-3, 21 knockouts. That will take place Sunday, March 12th, which will be Saturday, March 11th in the United States. That will take place in Sydney, Australia. We don't know the town yet, so that will be announced soon. We'll definitely keep fans abreast of. For the third time, the rematch between WBO junior welterweight champion Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall has been postponed after Taylor suffered a foot injury. The return it was supposed to be December and February and March. Taylor won, obviously, a controversial decision in February. The fight will be reevaluated. I think Taylor will be down about 6 to 8 weeks, and the new date will be announced very, very soon. A little bit of a surprise, Edgar Berlanga, 20-0, 60 knockouts, is now a free agent after him in Top Rank parted ways. Very interesting thing there. Adrian Broner will now take on Michael Williams Jr. in a dubious fight on BLK Prime on the 25th of February. So we'll see the Adrian Broner, the prom back against his third opponent, Hank Lundy, was, I guess, ruled suspended after he signed a contract for another fight against Ernesto Mercado. And then I guess those promoters were a little upset about it. Lundy out of this fight. So enter Michael Williams Jr., 20-1 out of North Carolina. Finally, ring legend Roy Jones Jr. will take on NDO champ on April 22nd at the Galaxy Arena in Metaverse. Damon Feldman, Bobby Hitz, promoting that. The distribution will be announced shortly. So Roy Jones and yet another exhibition fight. Earlier this week, I had a chance to actually it was right after the SHOBOX fight, talk to rising promoter Tony Jeter out of Maryland, the former middleweight contender. Turned into a real good promoter, promoting shows from like almost 4,000 people down at the Live Casino in Hanover, Maryland. He's got a big show coming up on February 18th, and me and him had a chance to preview the show, preview his fight card. So this is how it went. Promoter Tony Jeter here. We just saw an exciting card here at the Wind Creek Bethlehem, a good SHOBOX. SHOBOX, a new generation car on Showtime. Before the cameras got rolling, a guy you co-promote with Marshall Kaufman, Francis Orn, made his pro debut. Tell us what you thought about your new heavyweight.
Oh, he looked incredible. Showed good poise from that big amateur background. And he did what he had to do, and he ended it in the first round. Extremely exciting and really happy with his performance.
No cuts or anything like that. So that means he'll be available on February the 18th at the Live Casino down in Hanover, Maryland, where your next card, and Francis be on the card. I mean, what I see in BoxRec, you have about 12, 13, 14 fights on there. Take us through what we may see on February 18th.
We got a bunch of local guys. We have, of course, Oren. We have Greg Outlaw in the main event, which is always a big ticket seller. We have Monzaberry Condi fighting a Russian kid from D.C. So we really have a good card. A.J. Williams, Vince Mosca, Micah Terrell, Brandon Chambers, Ahmad Jones. We have, of course, the trilogy between Jakeem Hutchinson, Ernest Hall, Ernie Buggs. So it's really going to be from top to bottom a big card. We're going to sell this thing out.
What he means by sellout, it's not just a sellout. There's over 3,500 people in there down at the Live Casino. What's it mean, to be able to continuously pack a big crowd into the casino?
Oh, we're super. I mean, the place is incredible. So it's always good to do really good business there because they're good people. And the place is incredible. And the live staff has done nothing but treat us with like we're family. We're all together. So we're super thankful for the always the opportunity to do the best shows in the area, in the region. We do them there at Live Casino and Hotel at the Hall.
You're getting these big crowds, and you're in the same breath building fighters that we may see someday on a platform like SHOBOX. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. You got the big crowd, and you're watching some kids grow up. You have a bunch of kids who are 8-0, 9-0, 10-0, whatever, and you also Elijah Pierce is almost ready for prime time as well. So what's it like to be able to not only pack them in, but develop some good young talent?
Well, Pierce is ready for prime time. We've called everybody out, Duke Reagan, the list goes on and on. Nobody wants to fight him, and I get it. He was a high-level amateur, Olympic trials participant, and he's one of the best fighters in the world right now. But back to your question, we're really building a good group of guys that have started at Live and have been growing up throughout the last couple of years there. So we really got a good group of guys, and we're going to continue to build and work with people in the DMV and Pennsylvania, New York, and so forth.
And you guys some of these guys maybe less than a year away from being on a platform like SHOBOX, correct?
Well, not even that. We have Joe Vizzi, who's 8-0, super exciting. Monteberry Condi, 7-0. So we really have some guys. Brandon Chambers, 9-0. Elijah Pierce, 16-2. I mean, the list goes on and on. So we have guys right now that I could partner up with somebody and put a really good SHOBOX card together. We're just waiting to get the opportunity right now to bring SHOBOX to Maryland.
What do you want to say to the fans in closing? Maybe tell them how they can see this great show on February 18th, how they get tickets.
Well, you can go to AXS.com, AdamXRaySam.com, and you can buy tickets there. It's not that many tickets left, maybe 40, 30 tickets. And if not, come to the door. Maybe they'll open up some standing room only or whatever. But we're really looking forward to having a humongous crowd there and a great night of boxing action brought to you by Jeter Promotions at Live Casino Hotel, The Hall in Maryland, Hanover, Maryland.
Thank you. We'll see you February 18th.
Thank you, Marc, for having me.
There you have it. Tony Jeter, up-and-coming promoter, is putting on some great shows down in Maryland. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching this week. I want to thank Tony Jeter, Atif Oberlton, David Stevens for joining us. Next week we will review the big Arthur Better Be of Anthony Yard title fight, preview a big DAZN card, which I'll be at, featuring Amanda Serrano, Alicia Baumgartner, Richardson Hitchens taking on John Bowser. So it'd be a good card. We'll have a lot of interviews from that event as well. So thank everyone. Oh, don't forget, as you see the scroll at the bottom, this Saturday night on WatchBoxing.tv, a good card from Georgia with K-South Promotions, starting at 8 p.m. Live here on Watch Boxing TV. So I'm Marc Ames, and we'll